Today we're going to start in mountain pose. And for this class, to start off fresh, we're going to start on the left side instead of the typical right side in this practice, just to change things up. And it'll help you to not anticipate what's coming next and really focus on the current pose. So with your feet hips width apart, weight evenly distributed, just close your eyes for a moment and settle in. Then we'll inhale, arms rise, and then we're going to exhale, forward fold, and just kind of dangle there. You can cup opposite elbows if you like, and maybe sway gently side to side. Just keep your knees a little bit bent here since we're just starting out. Just slowly loosening up the hamstrings and the low back. Just take a few more breaths here. And then gently release the arms and kind of ragdoll up. And inhale, lift your arms up. And then clasp your hands behind your back and lift your chest, and then we'll fold again, bringing your hands toward the floor. And let's bend our right knee and then twist over to the left, and then inhale to center and exhale over to the right. And we'll do this 2 more times on each side. So twist over to the left and over to the right. Maybe you can get your hands close together as you warm up a little. And one more exhale to the right. Then fold over the center and gently release your arms. Then we'll come up, lift your arms up, inhale, and hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Then we'll step back to plank. And then we'll lower all the way to the ground. We'll do some cobra waves here. So let's have our fingertips wide, and then inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, fold, leaving your pelvis on the floor. So just inhale into a cobra. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Then we'll bring our hands next to our chest and lift up into up dog or another cobra. And then exhale back to down dog. And we'll hold this for 5 breaths. Just to give our body a chance to really open up. Okay, go ahead and step to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, arms up. And then we'll do that one more time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back to plank. And lower chaturanga to the floor. We'll do our cobra waves. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll bring our hands next to our chest again. Lift up either into another cobra or up dog. And then back to down dog. And we'll hold this for another 5 breaths. Maybe you can get your heels closer to the floor. Broaden the back. Then we'll step up to the front of the mat and inhale flat back. Exhale fold. Inhale to rise. And hands to heart center. We'll come into a modified Sun B. So inhale to chair. Exhale forward fold. Inhale flat back. You can jump or step back. Take your chaturanga. Inhale up dog. And exhale back to down dog. So we'll lift our left leg up, bend and open the hip. And then we'll make some nice big circles with the knee rotating the hip all the way around in one direction. And then we'll switch directions. Get that hip nice and warm. And then hold. And we'll step up to Warrior A for a breath. So inhale, arms up. And exhale, take your vinyasa. Inhale up dog. And exhale back to down dog. So we'll lift our right leg up, bend and open the hip. And then take those nice big circles on this side. Nice, slow circles. Then we'll rotate the other direction. And hold. And then step up for Warrior A on this side. Rise up. And then exhale, take your vinyasa. Inhale up dog. And exhale back to down dog. Just another breath or two. Then we'll jump or step up to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair pose. And then come up to standing. Okay, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Then exhale back to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale back to down dog. We'll lift our left leg up and come into crescent pose. So stay on the toes of that back foot. Rise up. And then exhale, take your chaturanga. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, right leg up. And bring your knee forward, foot on the floor between your hands. Lift up into crescent. And then exhale down. Take your chaturanga. Up dog. And back to down dog. Okay, we can jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale to rise. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Jump or step back. Take a vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. We'll lift our left leg up, bend and open the hip. And then step between the hands. We'll come into warrior two. And then we're going to flow this a few times. So we'll start in warrior two. Then we'll come into reverse warrior. And then side angle, whatever modification. So we'll do that 2 more times. So warrior two, reverse, and side angle. One more time, warrior two, reverse warrior, and side angle. And we'll come into warrior two. And we'll hold this for about 5 breaths. And then we'll step off into half moon. So have your left hand on the floor, right leg up and foot flexed, chest open to the right. You can look down for more balance, or to the side, or possibly up to the ceiling or your hand. We'll hold this for a couple more breaths. And then we'll step back to warrior two. And then we'll take a vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. And we'll lift the right leg up, bend and open the hip. And step in between the hands for warrior two. And then we will flow on this side. So inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Then back to warrior two. Reverse. Side angle. Warrior two, moving with each breath here. Reverse. And side angle. And we'll come back to warrior two, and we'll hold this. Really sink into the hips, strong arms. And then we'll come into half moon, so lift your left leg up, right hand on the floor, twisting your chest open to the left. If you have a block handy, this is a good pose for that if you like. And then come back to warrior two. Sink down for a breath. And then we'll come back into our chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale back to down dog. We'll jump or step up to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. And hands to heart center. Now let's bring our feet hip width apart and lift up, and then reach down for your big toes with your peace fingers and your thumb. Circle the toes, and then inhale, lift, and then exhale, let's forward fold for a nice gentle hamstring stretch. For a little deeper stretch, go ahead and bend your elbows and bring your head closer to your feet. Then we'll inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale up to rise. And then we'll exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back. Take your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. We'll lift the left leg up, bend and open the hip. Then step your foot between the hands for warrior two. Then we'll hold this for 5 breaths. To really sink down into it, push on the outer edge of the back foot. And then we'll reverse that, keep the legs the same. Reach your left arm up. Stretch up through the side. And then we'll come back to warrior two before we come into side angle. So whatever variation of side angle you like, you might have your elbow on your knee, hand on the floor, or possibly binding. So whichever position you're in, make sure you rotate your chest open to the side as much as you can. From here, we'll come back to warrior B, and then we'll come into half moon. So reach that left hand towards the floor, right arm up. Maybe we'll take a full moon if you like. You can grab that ankle and bend and open the chest. And then gently release the foot. Come back into warrior two for a breath. And then we'll come down to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale back to down dog. And we'll do everything on the other side. So lift the left leg up, bend and open your hip. And bring the foot between the hands, come into warrior two on this side. Sink down into it. Strong arms, feet rooted in the ground. And then we'll reverse that, so keep your legs the same and reverse. Bring your right arm overhead, lift up. Then exhale back to warrior two. And then we'll take a side angle whichever variation you took on the other side. Then we'll come back up to Warrior Two before coming into Half Moon. So go ahead and place that right hand on the floor, left arm up. Maybe you can take a full moon and grab the top ankle. For balance, look down. But if you have your balance, you can certainly look to the side or to the ceiling. And gently release that foot. Come back into Warrior Two for a breath. And then we'll take a vinyasa and meet in Down Dog. And we'll jump or step to the front of the mat, feet wide this time. And we're going to come into a malasana. So toes out, heels in, knees wide, hands in prayer position. So try to push your knees out with your elbows to try to get a little bit deeper stretch. Try to lift your chest up a little bit while you're in this pose. Sink the hips. And then we'll come into a forward fold and heel toe your feet together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Then inhale up to rise. And hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, jump or step back to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And then exhale back to down dog. We'll lift our left leg up, bend and open the hip. And you can stay here, or if you'd like, you can flip over into Wild Thing. So bring that left toe to the floor. Reach your right arm overhead and really stretch the chest up to the ceiling. And then we'll flip around and bring the left foot between the hands and come into Warrior A. Lift your arms up. Then we're going to interlace our hands behind the back and lift the chest up for a Waterfall Warrior. So exhale, forward fold, and then we'll inhale to rise. We'll do this a couple more times. Inhaling and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. And exhale, fold. Now we'll hold this here for about 5 breaths. So really try to get those hands closer to the floor. Bend into the knee. See how far you can get your head toward the floor. Then we'll lift halfway up and bring the right hand down and lift the left arm up for a side twist. So keeping and rotating onto the back right foot. So we're going to keep the left foot where it is. We're rotated onto the back toes and we're stretching to the left hand side. And you can look up, to the side, or to the floor if that feels better. Okay, now we'll look to the floor and then come into a side plank. So if you can, reach your left arm overhead. Maybe you keep your feet stacked or maybe one in front of the other. If you like, you can lift the top leg. Whatever variation feels good for your body. But whatever you're doing, try to stretch up and really lift that hip, the right hip, up off the floor. And then we'll come back into chaturanga, inhaling into up dog, then exhaling back to down dog. And we'll bend and open the right leg. And if you like, you can stay there or flip over into Wild Thing on this side. And if you're in Wild Thing, really stretch that arm up overhead and reach that chest up to the ceiling. And then flip that around, so bring the right hand between the hands. We'll come into Warrior A. So we'll clasp our hands behind our back, so do it the non-habitual way this time. And then we'll exhale, fold. And then inhale to rise. 2 more times. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, chest up. Exhale, fold. And inhale to rise. And then we'll fold and we'll hold this for 5 breaths. So really try to sink into this. Strong hips, strong legs. Then we'll come halfway up and bring our left hand down, rotate onto the back toes, and then rotate open to the right. And a nice gentle stretch here. Now we'll look down and come into side plank. So whatever variation you did on the other side, go ahead and take it here. Just really lift that left hip up. Get a nice side stretch for the whole body and strengthening for the sides. And then rotate around, take your chaturanga, inhale up dog, and exhale back to down dog. Look up to the front of the mat, jump or step your feet wide, and we'll take another malasana. So maybe you can get a little bit deeper into it this time. If you need to bring your feet out a little bit, please do. And really push into the knees to try to widen and open up the hips. Okay, let's stand and straighten the legs. Toe heel your feet together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to rise. Arms touch. And dive back down. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale back to down dog. We'll lift our left leg up, bend and open the hip. And you can stay here, or you can take a wild thing again, maybe a little deeper this time. Just feel the nice opening of the front of the body. Reach that top hand towards the floor. Then we'll flip around and bring that left foot between the hands. Come into Warrior A. Sink down into it, and we'll hold. Then we'll bring our hands behind our back, interlace the fingers, and lift our chest up. And then we'll fold over that front leg again for Humble Warrior. And we'll hold this for about 5 breaths. So try to sink down into it. Maybe your head can get a little bit closer this time to the floor. And we'll lift halfway up, bring that right hand down to the floor, and we'll rotate onto the back toes for a nice twist. So lift that left arm up, chest open towards the side. Then we'll look down and come into side plank again. So whatever variation works for you. Whichever one you're taking, go ahead and try to lift that right hip up as much as you can and get a nice arc on the whole side of the left body. And then rotate down, take your chaturanga, inhale up dog, and exhale back to down dog. And we'll lift the right leg up, bend and open the hip. Stay here or flip over into Wild Thing. And let's flip back over and bring the right foot up between the hands. Come into Warrior A. Lift the arms, sink the hips. Try to bend into that front knee. Maybe you can lift up a little bit higher with the arms and chest. Then we'll interlace our fingers behind our backs the non-habitual way and lift up. And then we'll forward fold over that front knee or inside the front knee. Try to get that head towards the floor. Strong in that back foot and leg. Then inhale, rise halfway. Put your left arm down and right arm up. Twist onto the ball of that back foot and open to the side. Then we'll look down and come into side plank on this side. Whatever variation works for you. Just really push that hip up. This is great for strengthening the side body. And then rotate down. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And back to down dog. And breathe. From here, we're going to lift our left leg up and then bring it around for pigeon prep. So try to get your left shin as parallel with the front of the mat as you can. Stretch your right leg back. Make sure it's parallel with your hip and not out to the side. And your left knee should be out past your left hip. So you don't want it in front. You want it more outer hip. And then you can lift up and then exhale, forward fold over that front leg. And feel a nice opening up of the left hip. You might want to rest your forehead on your arms, your hands, or maybe the floor. Or if you have a block handy, that might be comfortable. So we'll be here for a little bit just to really settle in. Okay, let's go ahead and lift up and then come back into down dog. Pedal out the legs if you need to. And we'll lift the right leg up and bring the right leg up for pigeon. And left leg back. Take a look back and make sure your leg's straight behind you. Lift up and then exhale, fold. Now this side may be very different, so that's perfectly normal. This is my tight side. So I always feel this a little bit more on the right. Just breathe and settle in. Allow your muscles to relax and open. And then go ahead and inhale up, lift your chest, and then come back into down dog. Maybe pedal it out. And from here you can jump through or just come to a seat. And then we'll lie down on our backs for some back bends. So we'll do 3 total. So I'll start with the first one in bridge, so you can take your favorite back bend, but keep your feet parallel, knees parallel, clasp your hands underneath you and lift your hips up. You want to try not to have your knees come out. You want to keep them closer together. Really push down into the floor and open up the front of the body. And then exhale back down. Keep your feet wide and let your knees drop in to relax the low back. Okay, then we'll come into our second back bend. So you can do bridge again, or maybe you can do wheel this time. So if you're with me, let's stay in bridge again, and maybe we can get a little bit higher. Push those hips up. And then let's settle our hips back down. Keep your feet wide. Bring the knees in again, just to relax the low back. Okay, let's come in for our last back bend. So you can do bridge again maybe. If wheel is in your practice, maybe you can come up all the way into a full wheel. Maybe you can do drop backs. Whatever your body feels right now. So whatever you're doing, keep your knees together, feet hip width apart. Try to straighten your arms. And relax your glutes as much as you can. And then let's come down. Good job. So let's, one more time, feet wide, knees together. We're going to come into plow and a shoulder stand. If you'd prefer another inversion or no inversion, you can just have your legs up the wall. But for a plow, if you're joining me, go ahead and lift your feet up and over your head, arms clasped and straight. And don't move your head around when you're in this position because it's not safe for your neck. So make sure you're not moving your neck around. And if your feet don't come to the floor, maybe you have a block handy you can grab. I just feel the whole nice opening up of the front of the body. This is a very deep stretch. Okay, just hold for a little bit longer. And then we'll come up into shoulder stand. So bring your hands to your low back and raise your legs up. So your feet are over your hips. And make sure you still aren't moving your head around. We'll be here for a few more breaths. And then let's bring our feet back over our head and then slowly roll back down. And then from here, we'll come into a fish pose. You can come into the full fish or modified like I am. You can just lean back on your elbows. You just want to make sure you open up the front of the throat and the chest after being compressed in that plow and shoulder stand. It's a nice counter pose. Then let's release this and lay down on the ground. We're going to take a nice twist here. So bring your knees into your chest. Let's give yourself a little rock. And then let's extend the right leg and then reach the left leg over the top of you. And if you can grab your foot, your left foot with your right hand and your right foot with your left hand. And you're going to try to have that left leg straight. You might want to use a strap here if you can. And if you have that bottom leg, go ahead and pull that leg back for a nice quad stretch. So this is a nice twist because you get an IT band stretch on the top leg and a quad stretch on the bottom leg, and then you twist your chest open to the ceiling. So this pose has a lot of good stretching and movement for you. Then we'll come back to center. Take a moment before we switch over to the other side. So we'll switch our right leg over the top and our left leg on the bottom. So that'll be your left foot with your right hand, your right foot with your left hand, and then ease into the pose and breathe and open up. Then we'll gently release and come back to center. Bring your knees in, rock side to side. We'll take a happy baby, so grab the outsides of your feet and pull your knees towards the ground, wide. And if you like, you can give yourself a little rock back and forth to give yourself a spine massage. And then we'll pause. Go ahead and bring your knees down, stretch out, and it's time for Shavasana. So have your feet nice and wide, arms wide. Just let yourself relax, let your feet drop out. You may want to put something over your eyes. If you're a little cold, maybe a blanket. All the work is done, now it's time to just relax. So we'll just take a few minutes here. Let's start to bring awareness back into our body. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a rock back and forth, side to side. Then taking your time, go ahead and roll over to one side, using your arm as a pillow. And slowly make your way up to a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed. Let's bring our hands to heart center and bow our head in gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.